So I guess we'll just jump into, Felicia, how did you feel about this movie?
Okay. So I loved this movie. And I totally acknowledge that, like, the main character, the boy, I didn't like him or dislike him. He was like nothing. He was just like barely reacted. And the people were very much like caricatures. And these are typically things I really despise in movies, or I should really despise, that's intense. I really don't like in movies. I know that I knocked Pet Sematary down for the acting, and
Yeah.
but I don't know what it was. It had to be a deep sense memory, because when the movie started, I was filled with joy. I was like, I love that the town looked like a movie set. It was almost like I was in a story. And so I liked how people, like the woman, Beagle, right? That was her name? The mean one. Deagle.
Mrs. Deagle, yeah.
So over the top with her. I don't know. It just felt like this classic Christmas story. It was riddled with Christmas. Like it wasn't like Predator where the boy trick-or-treated for 15 minutes. It was
right.
Just kidding, Tony. But
no, you're right. You're right.
It was Christmas time, and everyone made you very aware of that. And I loved it. And then I started to remember all these things. Like, I had a Gizmo toy, a soft one, a little Gizmo. And I also had the big, for anybody who had these, it was like a big, it was like hard, kind of like a action figure, but of like Spike,
Oh,
and
okay.
Yeah, and everything, even the part when they didn't react very well, and we'll talk about all the different things and the things I liked and everything, but in a nutshell, I really liked this, and it triggered some deep sense memories, and I was smiling just the whole time. And I did watch this with my entire family.
Okay.
My little one was pretty scared.
Okay.
She watches the Meg. She saw the Meg. She saw Jaws and all of the Jurassic Parks. Not scared. Like, she loves them. She watches them. And she was scared of this. So I don't know if it was more like she knows that for the podcast, I watch really scary stuff she can't see. And she knew this was for the podcast.
Okay.
So maybe she was expecting it to be more, but she was really scared of those gremlins. She was scared.
That surprises me too. Yeah, because I might have watched this as a kid, but I don't really remember. I don't ever remember watching this and having any sort of major reaction to it. You know what I mean? Like, I think I just watched it passively when it was on the TV during Christmas time, probably. And you hear stories, and in the process of my research, I heard stories of kids being scared, or I talked to people who were scared by it, and I just am like, I can't get there, right? But I don't know.
Yeah. She leaned over to me at one point. She went, "Oh, this sucks, actually." She leaned over to me at one point and went, "Mommy, are these things real? Are they out there?" And I'm like, no, honey, this is just a story. These things are not real. And then at the end, when the narrator says, so if something goes missing or things start breaking, you may just have a gremlin. The look on her face, she looked at me. "You lied to me, Mommy. These things are real." I'm like, "No, honey, he's just a storyteller. They're not real."
Yeah, I'm surprised. Well, I guess I should say that I'm not surprised, because they are real in the sense that they are puppets. It's not CGI or anything, so it looks like really real. It holds up, right? And I do like the narration part as well, and it does lend this like credibility, if you will, to it, right? So it's like at the end when he narrates, and she's like, "You fucking told me."
You told me lied?
I guess I do get where that's coming from. So that's cute.
But sharks are real. And she loves Jaws, but I guess she's not at the ocean all the time. Maybe if we go to the ocean, she'll be scared.
Yeah.
I have many years to find out all the ways that I have
traumatized her.
I have traumatized my child. What about you, Tawny?
I agree with most of what you just said. And I would say that I feel pretty indifferent about this movie. Like, I didn't love it, but I also didn't hate it. it's fun. It's
Yeah.
And I agree with what you're saying. Like, it just feels so nostalgic. It gives me the feeling of watching a movie like from my childhood, even though I don't really think I watched this a lot as a child. And it's exactly what you're saying. I actually read, and I didn't even put it in the notes because I didn't want to go off on an It's a Wonderful Life tangent. I took out all the notes that had references to It's a Wonderful Life. So we won't go down that rabbit hole
Yeah,
today.
no, Tawny does not. Yeah, no, don't do that.
But they did build a lot of the sets on the back, like on a Universal Studios backlot, like It's a Wonderful Life. So it feels very like contained and like sort of surreal because you're not like in a real location, you know, like, and so I think that was an interesting choice, and it makes sense, and you totally get that feel when you're watching it.
Yeah, I kept thinking because something that I really love is black and white movies, and I've watched so many, and I love it's that. I don't know if wholesome is the right word. Not wholesome, but it's just like this storybook feel. I don't know how to explain it, but it's the same thing with black and white movies and the sets and the, you know what, I can't even explain it, but you got it.
Yeah.
It's how I feel, just like that.
So I guess that's how I feel. Like, I don't really have any strong feelings one way or the other about the movie as a whole. Like, I maybe have like I did take notes on specific things that I want to poke fun at, but I want everybody to know I'm going to poke fun at them in a like not hateful way. Like, I'm not like mad about this movie. I didn't hate it. It was a fun watch, you know. It was a fun all the way through. I didn't get impatient really like I do sometimes with older movies. Yeah. You know, it moves, and it was fun, and I liked all the characters except for the ones that you're supposed to hate. But
yeah, I have to agree with you what you just said about the movement. I felt it had good movement. There was no point where I was okay, let's get on with this. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. All right, cool. So I'm glad. I was really nervous you were going to hate it. Because as I was watching it, you know, there was some acting and some reactions and stuff where I was like, oh, God, Tawny's going to be bored by this movie. I was worried.
There is for sure some acting, some reactions, some lines that I wrote down a lot of notes, but I ended up taking most of them out just because but it was kind of all in good fun, you know, like some of the things that I found were like funny or zany or whatever. I was just like, I don't know, it's like I can forgive them in this movie for some reason.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but it must be the nostalgia factor. So
yeah. Okay, cool. All right.